So I have a question for you. I have a
Sure.
genuine question for you. Have you ever used in the past GameFly? You know, that subscription service where they mail you the game, the video game, and then you get to play it as long as you want, but you still pay the $9.99 a month subscription. Did you ever do any of that?
No, I remember seeing a ton of ads for it, and then being like, "That sounds really cool," and then looking at the price and being like, "Nope."
What? Wait, I mean, wasn't it $10 a month? Am I wrong? I thought it was like really.
I swear it was like 15.
Okay.
Also, I was working for like $5.25 at the amusement park that I got my first job at. So, yeah,
you're still a little bit out of your. Although, I mean, even at 15, it's like, okay, I got to work 3 hours. I got this. 3 hours worth of work will give me an insert game here that I want to play. I thought it was an ingenious idea because, you know, the other option was what? Game Crazy, which was connected to Hollywood Video. At least that's how it was here in California. And you could rent the game because I don't think at the time Blockbuster had video games to rent. But I mean, the idea at its core was essentially Netflix for video games. Before Netflix was a streaming service, it was the physical DVDs, and they mailed it to you, $10 a month. You got to keep the DVD as long as you want. Then you just have to send it back in order to get to the next DVD in your queue, on your list. And the reason why I bring this up is because apparently Netflix is reporting to be fishing around for a major video game business executive to hire, which leads certain people into the idea of, they want to get into not only streaming, like, you know, media content of TV shows and things of that nature, but also video games. So I ask you, fundamentally, A, do you think that this is a good idea for Netflix? And B, will you be partaking if and when this actually comes to pass?
Could it be good for Netflix? Yeah, like I could see how that would work really well for like Nintendo Switch and for PlayStation and stuff. Will I be partaking? No, because Game Pass.
Fair point. Now, Game Pass, though, however, has really just the agreements between Microsoft and their publishers, and then also their partner publishers and developers, which, let's be honest, it's freaking amazing, right? I mean, there's no questions, hands down. You can be a PlayStation owner, I don't care. Get this, because there's going to be some sort of benefit to you on mobile, on the gaming PC that you're building right now, some sort of benefit. But the one thing that we don't have are the outreaching developers that just won't sign on. One comes to mind, Activision, and like Call of Duty, for example. You know, I don't know if we're slated for another Call of Duty, but let's just say for argument's sake that we are. And Netflix is able to secure...
As if we aren't, but continue.
Right. And Netflix is able to secure that exclusive deal to say, okay, no, you can buy the game and for $60 on whatever platform that we're on. But if you subscribe to Netflix Gaming for $10 a month, you'll get all the Call of Duties, you get all the DLCs, and whatever else that they do. I mean, do you think would that change your mind, or you would still say, nope, I'm still no, really? Because I personally haven't bought Cold War, and this might get me over the edge to say, okay, well, I'll try Cold War.
It's still just, it's few and far between that I'd feel like I'd want to spend the $120 a year on.
Okay.
Because I don't, especially nowadays, I don't buy a ton of games every year.
Buy like 2 a year.
And 2 or 3, and at $60, it's like, okay, that's the difference between $0 or $60. So it's like I could, and I would probably have access to more games, but then again, that's like I already have those games
now.
So unless it was like a streaming service, like unless they did like a EA Play, Xbox Game Pass kind of thing, it's still just like, I don't know, it just doesn't they would have to pull out all the stops and blow me away with what they bring to the table to get me interested, because right now I am very satisfied.
Now, let's put all of our cards on the table here. You and I, are in a very privileged position to which we effectively get Game Pass at either $0 or a very reasonable rate per month and per year. Mm-hmm. Should that change, are you going to continue utilizing Game Pass, or was it really you were utilizing it because of the monetary expenditure was not existent at this time? Or do you actually feel like, oh, no, Game Pass is really good because there are all these games that I would not have had the opportunity to play without Game Pass, and I continue to play them?
Yeah, I would continue my subscription.
Okay. All right.
I have found value in it. There has been numerous times where it's been, hey, let's play this game. I don't really want to buy it. It's on Game Pass. Okay.
I mean, Steep was the perfect example. A couple of weeks ago, you and I played Steep for work. And I had bought Steep when it first came out. And I think when it first came out, I might have gotten, I don't know, $10 worth of my money out of the game. You know, and now that it's free, so many more of my friends, and then you, have downloaded it and given it the old college try. So you're right. Yeah, you're definitely right there. But the idea of Netflix possibly getting into this, I'm not sure if the technology would be akin to cloud gaming that Xbox is doing and that like Amazon is doing, where you're streaming the game, you're not actually downloading anything. I don't know if Netflix is looking to do that, but if they are, to a degree, they have years of experience with this technology, at least from a media, like just visual media. But the instantaneous feedback loop of using a controller or mouse and keyboard, that's something else. That's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, I could see going well for them, but like I said, I would have to be wowed for them to bring something to the table that's not already on the table.
Now, Netflix did something a couple of years ago where it was kind of like a choose your own adventure interactive TV show. I don't know. Bandersnatch was the name of at least one of them. I didn't watch it. I heard too many well, I should have given it my own go, but I just heard too many kind of negative things about it. Did you try it at all?
Same boat as you. Just I heard a lot about it. I didn't hear negative reviews or anything. Just heard like it's a thing, and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the negative reviews I heard was, you only get two choices, and it pretty much forces you to choose the main storyline. Like, you can't go too far off the beaten path because they want you to get to the same ending, or at least to one of these three endings. And my initial thought was, oh, well, that's not fun. I want to, go off and do something really odd. But then I also realized they would have had to record and produce and edit how many other different video options like that just wouldn't be economical and be stupid. So maybe I should have given a chance. But my point of bringing this up is Netflix has tried to gamify their system a little bit. Not, obviously not perfect, but But
they've definitely given a solid effort compared to other people.
I wonder if they're going to try something else again. Maybe not gamify, but having somebody that's in the video game business understands what it means for a really good story, but also engagement with the audience and like interactivity on a moment's notice. Except for the person that likes to sometimes skip cutscenes. That guy's an a-hole. But yeah, sorry. But maybe
My favorite comment from Tony is in those last couple of weeks. What are we doing here? Well, it explained it in the cutscene. Oh yeah, I skipped that. I don't feel bad for you.
I mean, I had a good excuse for skipping the cutscene, and it was good. It was a good excuse at the time, and it was more for time management. Of I'm not gonna watch this effectively probably which was only like 2 to 5 minutes, but it felt like 10 to 20. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have Quinnton explain to me what's going on while we're going to do
while
the thing.
we're going.
Yeah. So while we're running down and shooting ads, I'm like, okay, so who's this guy on the left? They explain in the cutscene. I didn't watch the cutscene, so quickly tell me who he is. Oh my God, how'd you not watch the cutscene? Don't castigate me. Tell me who he is. Just tell me who he is, and then we'll talk about him or who he is and who he's not later on. All right, he's Uncle Bob Joe. All right, let's go kill Uncle Bob Joe. I'll go do that. That's what I was looking for. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah.
Well, it's a very weak excuse, sir.
It's an excuse, nevertheless. And since then, I have watched the cutscenes. So,
but you kind of buried the lead here. You've been starting to play Destiny.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about this. I don't know if it was in the last podcast or if it was during our work thing, but yeah, I believe it was our last podcast because I mentioned that, you know, when I first tried it, I was on the right headspace, and now I gave it, you know, I said this term earlier, but I gave it the old college try. I gave it hours to me, maybe like minutes to you, but hours to me of like, I am going to level up my Titan. I am going to get raid ready, and there's absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from getting raid ready. Now, did we finish the raid on time for me to get the raid jacket? No. But
hey, you've still got 30 minutes from when we're recording.
I mean, yeah, but no. Honestly, the anxiety, I don't think I could deal with that. But the fact is, you know, a failure is not a failure when you can find success along the way. And the success I found was I'm finally understanding all the quips and all the other inside jokes and all the other things that you and the rest of the Slicer crew talk about. B, I am actually enjoying the game. C, I'm getting used to the lore and understanding where all these things are interconnecting. And D, I'm raid ready. So yeah, even if I don't get the jacket, I can still finish the raid with you guys, and I'll be able to get like the in-game content that I'll be able to, you know, have and own digitally speaking. And then next time a raid comes around, we won't have to play this catch-up. I mean, maybe a little bit.
Oh, you'll play the catch-up. I was going to say, you will have the catch-up.
Yeah, but
just
not to the
degree.
No, yeah,
not to the degree,
nowhere near. Like, how many light levels did I have to go to get to?
Oh, it was like a couple hundred.
100. Now, to put that into perspective, where were you and where are you at now? In the same time frame.
I was raid ready when the season launched.
Boom. Right? Yeah, so assuming that I keep up with the Joneses, assuming that I do my dailies or my weeklies, you know, and then if there's another kind of like flash event and we can all get on the same page, I'm down. But, you know, I want to extend this out to you and the rest of the crew. I mean, thank you for putting up with my ignorance with the game, and also the overall your instructions and whatnot definitely helped me get as far as I could go, as far as I needed to be. So I'm glad.
You know, one of my favorite things during all this is while we were doing the raid, you were assigned a task, and then I was like, "Okay, come over here," and you're like, "But I was assigned to do this," and I was like, "Yeah, things change in raids. Get over here." Like, you told me to do this. I'm doing the one thing I was told to do, which is smash the hammer, and it's like, nope. Now you're using a screwdriver. Get over here.
Yeah, I mean that definitely threw me for a loop, and I remember in the past how you have talked about the raid and kind of said, kind of offhandedly, yeah, you're gonna have to be quick on your feet. You know, if we tell you to go left and your instincts tell you to go right, you go left. You have to go left. And like when you told me that, hey, what's going on, Chai? When you told me that, I was like, yeah, of course I'll go left. Why would I not go left? You're telling me to go left, but in the moment, like I'm freaking going right. Like, this is where I'm supposed to go. You're like, no, because Mr. Bossman over there knows you're going right. Or we found a better angle over here on the left, and I don't have time to explain it to you. Just, pick up your shoes and
do the thing.
Go. Yeah. So I hope I was able to keep up with you guys, and I realized, like, I in a number of cases, I set off a chain reaction of dying. So I would die, and then someone would try to res me, but they would die, and then someone tried to res them, and they would die. And the beautiful thing about this game is that you can get resed. The disadvantage about raids is that you only have one res.
Yep.
And so if you use it, then everyone, gets wiped, and you have to try that stage all over again. Like I said, I'm not going to get the raid jacket, which was required to finish the raid by EOD, or not even end of day, just like 10 o'clock Pacific AM today. So
yeah, reset Tuesday.
Yeah, reset Tuesday. So, oh well. But I would still like to be able to finish that raid. So maybe we can do that later on today.
Yeah, and with it being reset, you'll be able to level up. So should be fun.
Cool.
So the other day, you were talking to me on the phone, and you told me about, like, you had a spider in the house, and it was a decently sized spider.
Yeah.
But you knew it wasn't poisonous.
It's about this big.
And so
about a quarter size, maybe? $50
and so you
would be
left
this big,
it.
So quarter. Yeah.
You left it in your house.
Yes. Yeah, he was crawling. I mean, there's been a couple of spiders. One was crawling across the floor today. I mean, I'm in the garage, so there's spiders all the time. Unfortunately, that means they leave cobwebs on my equipment, so I have to dust off fairly frequently. And I've gotten better at being able to identify what spider is which. So if it's like a like a brownish spider, isn't that like a black widow? Okay, maybe I haven't gotten good at naming them, but I know which ones I can leave alone and which ones I need to destroy immediately. And the one that I had told you was about yay big, and I know that it is not a spider that is potentially harmful to me, my daughter, my family. It's a spider that kills other smaller creatures that could be potentially harmful. So in the in the spirit of the circle of life, I'm not going to step in. I'm going to let Mr. Spider do its job and kill the other things that could be more deadly or more harmful to me, and just let him go about his way. So there've been some times where I'll pick him up and kind of shoo him away, but I won't kill it. Are you killing all spiders sight on scene? Scene on sight?
Yeah, if there is a creature in my house, no matter what it is, no matter how big or how small, that is not supposed to be in there, it is dead.
I mean, we're not supposed to be. I mean, like you could argue your apartment or whatever was built on their house. You could make that argument.
You could make that argument if the apartment was new. This is not a new apartment. Like even if it was built on like some spider nest way back when, that spider nest is gone.
How do you know?
Like because I don't have a spider problem, and I feel like if I was on a spider nest, I'd have a spider problem.
I mean, you have,
but nonetheless, like
you have different apartments there. Maybe they're visiting apartment 1C, and you're in apartment 3D, and they're like, okay, we'll move our way up. 1C, 1D. Okay, second floor, 2A, 2B.
No, the rule of thumb that I follow is if it's in my house and it's not supposed to be in my house, it's removed from the house, and it's removed from the house with extreme prejudice. Like, it's gonna die, and it's gonna die very quickly.
I'm not trying to be Mr. Like holistic, like, oh, we should love all creatures. No, like I said, if it's something that is potentially harmful, I am right there with you. But I don't see any benefit to killing a spider that's not harmful, but that could help kill other things that are harmful to me.
It can still bite you.
Just leave it alone. It's not going to bite you.
Can I go with it's gross?
Not that bad.
It's a little unsanitary. It's like it can cause an infestation, even though it's not a thing that will attack you or like hurt you at all. I mean, it's still something that could, like, if a mama spider and a daddy spider get together and they create 5,000 little baby spiders.
Okay,
that's a problem.
Okay, I mean, sure, but then
I actually had that as a kid. I had that. Fun fact, that was a thing. I went to the bathroom one time when I was like, I want to say 7, 8, something like that. And we had a little radio in there, and I looked at it and it looked really weird. Like there was like sand or something on it. Like what? I didn't understand it. And I looked really close, and there were hundreds of little baby spiders all over everything.
I mean, that's traumatizing. I'm not taking that away from you whatsoever. And if I were to, like, you've seen the YouTube videos, or even like back in the day, the Vine clips where there's just this clump and you just kind of throw something and then all the spiders just scatter.
Explode out. Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. I mean, even just thinking about it, I'm grossed out.
Yeah. It's like,
okay. I am, just thinking about it gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm right there with you. But at the end of the day, that hasn't happened to me personally. So I don't have that actual in-person experience to be able to say, all right, this is what I would actually do. So I can only tell you what I would like to do. And what I would like to do is leave mommy and daddy spider alone. If they make 5,000 babies, I would just hope that all 5,000 babies don't go to school in my bathroom all at the same time, right? But if I were to kill mommy or daddy so they don't make 5,000 babies, but then the other insects do make 10,000 babies, and they all decide that our apartment or our house is now the metropolis in which they are going to reside in, and nothing can take that away because the spiders are gone, then that's another thing. Like, we could play this game of what if and what's going to eat what for forever. And I feel like because the spiders, if I stay away from them, I don't bother them, I'm bigger than them, they're generally scared of you if you bother them, they're not going to be a problem. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Now, here's the one insect that I will kill sight unseen. Are ants. Chai in our chat here on Twitch, twitch.tv/LazyTechTony, for those that are listening. Chai said, I lived atop an ant colony and that was horrible. I sympathize. I've not lived atop an ant colony, but I've definitely picnicked and hung out next to an ant colony before. And you feel those weird, creepy, crawly things, and you're just like, man, My arm hair is doing weird things again. Holy God, there's 4,000 ants on me right now. Get it off. Get it off. Get it off. So
I'm getting itchy just thinking about it.
I am too. And for those that are listening and driving, sorry.
Sorry.
But we are now all in the same boat of feeling itchy and feeling like something's on us. So welcome to the boat. But I will kill ants, whether they're the nice ants that was made into A Bug's Life and the movie Ants, or if they're the biting ants. I will definitely I will definitely kill if I can. Have you seen ant colonies at like the zoo? And it's like, ooh, that's amazing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's disgusting.
I don't know if I've ever seen an ant colony at the zoo.
Or like, what about an ant farm? Did you ever have an ant farm like at your school in elementary school?
No. Not that I can think of.
I mean,
I
thought the
ant
farm...
What about I've been dying to know though. What about a lizard? Because I've never had this before.
Oh, yeah.
What about if you had like a gecko? Okay. What'd you do?
We got it.
With a hammer?
No, it's... No, not Siri. No, we caught it. Okay, let me be clear. Not we, as in me and Aurelia and our family. Estrella's mother caught a lizard at her place. And it was a lizard outside. They caught it with the Tupperware, put the cardboard under the Tupperware, brought it up, said, "Oh, look, it's a cute lizard. We have a terrarium that's not being used. We have a lizard pet now." That's effectively what they did. Maybe not this gesture, but they did that effectively. And I saw the lizard the other day. It looks very lizardy. You can't really tell if they're happy or not, right? But it still has its tail, so it hasn't like gotten so scared that it detaches from the tail. Right. So I guess that's a good thing. And they're feeding the lizard like mealworms and stuff. Estrella almost named a mealworm.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it! Like, you're gonna get attached.
It's going backwards. Beep beep beep. Her mother was like, "Don't get attached to it. It's food."
Oh no! No, but like, what about a lizard or snake in your house?
I have not had any reptiles of that nature in the house. It's only really been outside. So if it's outside, I do what I do right now. I go try and make the lizard my new best friend, and he always runs away. If it's a snake, I don't really have the wherewithal to know which snake is a garden snake versus not a garden snake. So I just like, oh, look, a snake. And I kind of, just saunter in the opposite direction or like do a big detour.
But the snake's in your house.
So snake in the house. My first thought is, oh, there's a snake in the house. What the heck? I wouldn't even know. I honestly don't know. I would like to think that it's freaked out enough that it's staying still enough that I would be able to quickly do a Bing or Google image search to say, okay, you look like this snake, and that snake is poisonous. Oh crap! And then I would maybe call somebody. But I guess if I had to take it upon myself, and I did find a poisonous snake in the house, I've got pots and pans. I can smash it with ironclad, I guess, if I had to. I mean, again, if it's dangerous, it's going to die.
Right.
But if it's a garden snakes do bite, sure. But it doesn't hurt. And it won't, and the venom that it has will not hurt or kill a human of any size. So,
okay.
Now, will I freak out like I freaked out when we went to the haunted house? Maybe. But did I kill any of those vampires? No. I just ran the opposite direction and said thanks for coming.
Oh, geez.
Which is a weird thing to say to a vampire. Thanks for
coming. You're in their house.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem. What? I guess you threw them off.
I threw them off. They're like, wait, aren't you in my house? Chai in the chat says, I caught a baby lizard in my house once and I named it Spotty. The mama lizard ran away somehow. Don't know how, but I took care of the baby for 2 years. See? Kindred spirit.
There you go.
Yeah. So you can find love in odd places sometimes with other species and insects for pets and camaraderie. But if you're going to use me as food or try to kill me, goodbye.
Yep. Amen to that.
As we move back into somewhat normalcy and kids are going back to school, they're no longer doing distance learning. The one disadvantage that COVID has taught us is that to a degree, you can still teach at home. You know, you just get all the kids on Zoom or whatever platform that you prefer, and you just do the best you can your lesson of the day through Zoom. And so there are certain schools and school districts that are considering that when the time comes, and especially your neck of the woods is going to be affected by this, when the time comes where we would normally have a snow day and no school, we'll just do Zoom school. And there are there are people that are there are people that are like, no, and there are people like, yeah. And then there are people that are on the fence. I mean, just like anything else. So I'm on the fence. If I can be honest with you, I'm on the fence. You clearly don't look like you are in favor of this. So
no, absolutely not.
So what does a snow day offer that you can't just get on a regular weekend of there being snow?
It's a surprise special day. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, we got the weekend and there's snow, so let's go, sledding, let's go build a snowman in the front yard, let's go do whatever. It's a special day. Like, it's a special, like, surprise. The snow has fallen and you get to stay home because of it. And I personally think, like, also, you might have things to take care of. Like, well, as an adult at least, you might have things to take care of. Like, okay, there's a lot of snow. Okay, so depending on the weather conditions, it's like maybe I need to consider going to the store and getting supplies because there's a chance that it's going to snow again and that might knock the power out.
But
so I need to consider that.
We're talking about you as a kid, like as a kid.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like it semi-relates because it's like, okay, now as a parent, I don't have time to sit here and like hang out in the house while you're doing school. I need to go to the store and stuff. I'd rather you just come with me than be at home by yourself on Zoom because you're, I don't know, 8, you're not 7, 6, I don't know, the youngest age possible that's doing Zoom. Mm-hmm. I'd rather you just be off of school, come with me to the store, come home, and then I'll let you play in the yard for a little bit and let you play in the snow. I don't really want... Like, I don't want to worry about, like, school and stuff right now. This isn't the point. And also, it's, like, it's special. Like, it's something that, like, we had as a kid. Well, at least I did. I had as a kid.
I did, too. Yep.
Okay. It was a wonderful thing because it was, like, surprise. Like, we're just going to cancel school today. You get to stay home and you get to go play in the snow and stuff. And it's a special thing. And everybody, like, you understand that. Like, it's not a usual thing. It's like, okay, in order to get this special day, something that's completely out of anyone's control has to happen.
Right. I actually agree with you regarding the minimum age limit. I think, like, if you're in Australia's age group, 7 or to 9-year-old, like up to 10 years old, maybe. I don't think it's good for you to be left alone at home, whether it's a snow day or not. I mean, just from a responsibility point of view, if you're 10, if you're a latchkey kid and you're 10 years old, good for you, fine. But in my book of references, if I'm going to leave my kid alone at home, I better have a damn good reason that I couldn't bring her with me. It's got to be the best reason in the world. Otherwise, no, she's coming with me. But if she's like 11 years old, 12 years old, she's fine.
Yeah, but that's the thing is under a normal school day, you don't close half of the school, you close the entire school, right? And what about like the situation of people in the same household? You have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old in the same house and a 14-year-old. You're telling me like the 14-year-old has to go to school?
What I'm getting at is that there would be, I guess, exceptions to the rule, which would cause a whole kerfuffle. So maybe that's not really a good idea, because in my frame of mind, we just would want to make it easy where everyone can just follow like a very clear cut set of rules. Right. But the thing that you said was very interesting was that it was a special day when you had a snow day. And like I said, I've had a few when I lived in Belgium and in England where, yeah, even my dad couldn't go to work, And so we were all at home, and it was something that, the first day of snow day when I had first experienced snowfall, it was the best thing in the world. I was in 4th grade. It was magical. We built a snowman called Jim after James T. Kirk. I remember this. My dad even remembers this. But here's the thing. This is where you and I diverge in regards to our upbringing. The novelty of snow days wore off quick in my family because they didn't happen that often. It wasn't like it was a snow day turned into a snow week. No, I'm talking about like even a year after there's another snow day. My mother would be like, all right, well, it's a snow day. I'm adding chores for you to do. You have to do this homework. Like, I expect you to take the time that you would normally be in school to do something productive that is educationally furthering, or because I was very heavy with my music, that you are practicing your violin or you're practicing your cello or you're composing some sort of counterpoint piece of music in the same hour range that you would be at school. You're not at school? Fine. We're going to bring school home. And as much as I hated that, I'm glad she did it. Because I'm glad she did it. Because like my brain, the way that my brain worked, it was that the weekend was the weekend, and that's when I was able to like go out and play and do those other things. The snow days, while I was still able to, and don't get me wrong, I was still able to go outside during the day. Like I would do some like homework stuff and then take a break, but then I would come back and do some homework stuff and then some chore stuff. Like it was a very good balance. But again, I'm glad that she did it because she pushed me to be able to get past the FOMO of if I don't take advantage of snow day now, then I'm going to miss it all. And by the time I'm done with homework and all this other stuff, it's going to be dark and I won't be able to go outside. No. She allowed me to get past the idea of that I'm going to be missing out. I was able to keep up with my studies. I was able to further my musical education. I was able to do all these things fairly well balanced. And then I was able to make gym every single year that we had snowfall. So there's a balance.
No, that's not balance.
How is that not balanced?
If it's the one snow day of the year, I'm sorry, but get off your high horse and let the kid go play in the snow. Like if it's the 5th snow day in a row, then yeah, no, 100%, because it's kind of like, okay, sorry, like as fun as this is, like you are missing out on your education. But if it's one freaking snow day of the year, oh my hell, let the kid go play in the snow for the day. Let it be the off day, the special day.
But
that is so dumb. That is like painfully dumb. I'm sorry, but I disagree with this parent.
Playing in the snow that you can't
childhood memories
after school.
Childhood memories of snow days, like I have. They're not that many, but like they're just fun. They're just like
snow days too. I just told you.
Yeah, after like doing schoolwork and stuff, it's like no, go. You wake up. You find out school's canceled and you go out and go play immediately. And that's amazing. And it's not like important to get stuff done because it's one snow day. It's one day. You take your kids out of school for longer to go on vacation. Like, no, I'm going to very much like adamantly put my foot down and say that's dumb. Like if it's multiple days in a row, if it's like a week of just pounding snow and you're all stuck at home, this is where the home learning is going to become helpful. Of like, hey, okay, the one off day is super fun and very special and it's like a unique thing and it's something to remember. Super awesome. This is day 4. Kind of got to do something. Like we're falling behind at this point. But one off day, just go enjoy the day. It's a single day. That's a single day is not going to make or break your education. I'm sorry, it isn't.
The nice thing, the nice thing about being forced to do the educational thing or to work on whatever cello technique I was working on was that I essentially got a head start. So when I had other days where I had more free time because I didn't have to play catch up because I finished all that work already, then those days I was able to take full advantage of, and then they bled into the weekend. So I effectively had a longer weekend, and my other friends who also did this had longer weekends, where everybody else had your standard 2-day weekend because they had to they weren't able to say, oh yeah, no, I already did that work. Like, no, they had to do it in your quote unquote allotted amount of time. But
it just sounds like you tried to bank the time and hope that you'd get the time back, honestly.
And we did.
I'll do this now, and as long as I stay ahead of everyone, I can use the time to have a longer weekend or something. But it's like you're not even guaranteed that, because if something happens, like you get sick or just the class is able to catch up, like you're not able to keep up with the program because you're finding something tricky, you lose that time. So it just seems like counterintuitive. Like you're trying. Now, don't get me wrong, it worked for you, but we're talking like broad strokes, right?
Right.
That doesn't seem the best investment because you're not guaranteed to get it back. You're only very partially guaranteed to get it back. So, and you whereas you could just enjoy the snow day and move on with your life because everyone else is on the same page.
So let's agree on this. If there's going to be a snow day situation, they should take at least that one snow day. And then whatever the kids do is no longer during that day is not under the purview of the school, is under the purview of the parent, and every parent's going to be different. Fine. But with regard to school days being turned into snow days, you get that one day. What happens on day 2? And it's like, okay, well, there's still a lot of snow. You can't come to school. We will do Zoom day. Do you think it would be good to do like a half a Zoom day, or just no? Let's wait until it gets like day 4, and that's when we start worrying about Zoom days and things like that.
I would say it's like because this is off the cuff, right? I would say it'd be like a ramp up. Like first day, obviously day off, just like we talked about. Mm-hmm. Second day would be like maybe like almost optional, if at all. Maybe just 2 in a row. Like, hey, the rare occasion, 2 in a row, crazy, right? Third day, I would say half day. Like, no, let's do like a half day of school. Let's kind of get back into the swing of things. And then day 4 would be like, okay, let's do a school day on Zoom. Let's get back into things.
Okay.
So it'd be like a ramp up of like let's get back into things with doing school, with doing things, but not just immediate. Because like especially in Utah, like we know how to handle snow. Like obviously we get hundreds of feet of snow up in the mountains and stuff. Like most of the mountains we have average about 500 inches of snow every season. It's amazing. It's wonderful. When it does pound down in the valley, like we know how to handle it. We've got the trucks, we've got the things. So snow days are rare because like we're able to clear our roads. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's like if an actual snow day happens, just let it happen.
Okay.
Just let's not overthink it. And like day 2, it's like that is, I can't tell you in memory if we had 2 days in a row.
I've had
really don't know if we've ever had
2 days in a row in England, and yeah, I mean, I had your pretty quintessential memories from at least day 1. Day 2, I knuckled back down to what I needed to do, because unfortunately for me, when snow days were happening, because obviously it's in the winter. In my school in England, that was also during like finals that included like final like projects and reports. And usually when you have a project and report to do, you don't get a chance to do it until you get home from school, which only gives you about 3-4 hours maybe. But on a snow day, first day, I'll give you that. Take the snow day. Enjoy your childhood. Fine, I'll give you that. But day 2, at least for me, that's when it's like, okay, I want to enjoy it, but I have all this extra time. All this extra time that I can get this project, at least give it a little bit of headway, so I'm not going to procrastinate. And so if something does come up later on that will delay me from being able to finish the project, then I don't have to worry about it. Does that make sense? So that's where I saw the benefit of kind of getting back into the swing of the educational thing, at least on day 2. If I'm feeling sexy, maybe day 3. But that's why I would try to get a leg up, because I would get a head start. If something goes wrong, then I already got the head start, and then I'm back to where I was before. But I'm not rushing. I'm not cramming it all in. Or on the opposite side of it, I got a head start, and tomorrow everyone's going sledding. But so I got a head start. I can go sledding, and then I can take advantage of that memory. I'll be back to where I was. I'll be at the same level playing ground as everybody after sledding, but I'll at least have that memory.
So okay, I have a question here, sure. And I don't know if this situation came up. So we're going to just test the waters here. So snow day, back when you were a kid, when your mom was like, no, let's do schoolwork and stuff like that. Did you ever have the situation come up of like, she says that your friends hit you up and say, hey, we're going sledding or skiing, or we're doing this snow activity because #snow day.
Right.
We're going to be doing this thing right now. Did that ever come up? What happened?
Okay, that's good. That's a very good question. The one time that did happen, I was in the same grade as Estrella, as she is right now, or around the same time. 4th and 5th grade. 4th or 5th grade. One of those 2 years.
Okay.
And we lived in Belgium at the time. Long story short, none of my friends made last minute plans like that. So to answer your question, I guess I didn't. It was more like, hey, we're going to go sledding. So can you meet us later? because we're not going now, but we're going to go later. Can you meet us later? And if my mother was in the, you got to do your homework first, it worked out for her because I was able to do my homework first, work first and then play later kind of mentality. And that's what I did. And, whether that's a good mentality or not, that's what we try to instill with our kids is, I realize there's FOMO and I realize there are certain things where you want to take advantage of the daylight. I get it. But, and here's the big but, I'm forcing you to do this because in the larger grand scheme of things, not just of your school, not just of your friends, but the larger grand scheme of things, if you get used to this kind of mentality, in the future, when you're an adult, you unfortunately are required to do more and more responsible things. This factors into it. So if you can bite the bullet, do the more responsible thing, then you have more time, more freedom to do the more funsy things, and you'll feel better about it because you don't have to worry about the responsible thing anymore.
Okay.
So I know I answered your question in a very roundabout way, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. So let me ask you in the now. Because you're moving to Utah, and so this possibility could happen. So let me paint a picture, and I want to know what you're gonna do. Okay. So snow day happens. Wake up. Hey, no school. That kind of thing. And you're considering the situation of what to do for the day for Estrella. And you look outside, and Estrella's friends are outside across the street and stuff, playing in the snow, doing stuff in the morning. What do you do?
Well, if it's the one snow day, she's going outside.
Okay.
If it's day 4 and the school
then we're on the same page of like
yeah. And the school said, "Hey, we're doing Zoom calls." So I'm like, "All right, we're doing Zoom calls." I'm like, "But my friends, like your friends are not outside. And if they are, their parents are terrible." Okay, maybe not terrible.
School is unfortunately in session.
Yeah. I apologize. I don't mean terrible, but like very irresponsible. If your kids are outside and they're supposed to be in school, get a hold of your kids. Like, no one wants to go to school. That's a completely different topic we're not going to get into right now. But you got it. you just got it. You don't have to go to college.
I can see.
You don't have to go to college, but you do have to go to middle school and high school.
Yeah, I could see a small situation happening in my future. I could see this happening of like, okay, listen, this is like day 4 of the snow day.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be on Zoom calls. You're going to be taking the Zoom calls from the ski lift.
Oh, really?
I could, just a small part of me is like, I could see that. I could see me doing that just to be like, because that, you'd never forget that as a kid. You would never forget that. The fact that your dad was like, hey, I need you to kind of be in school, but we're going to go have fun.
Like, why do you know? How do you remember so much about the William the Conqueror in 1066? Like, I don't know, but I remember going down the mountain with him while I was learning about Edward the Confessor. Wait, what? I mean, no, I was in the Zoom call. My bad.
But you got to admit, though, you'd never forget that of like your dad being like,
sure.
Listen, yes, but also no.
Yeah. Look, do I mean, there are certain memories that we want to romanticize when we have kids. We want to be able to, call the school and say, you know what, Franklin or Nicholas or Estrella, they have a doctor's appointment, so I have to take them. It's like, oh, okay. We pull them out of the school. Like, oh, I'm going to doctor? Like, nope. We're going to Great America, or we're going to, we're going to go do something awesome. Like, what? Yep. We're playing hooky. We want to have those memories.
Yeah.
Will I ever do that? I still have time. Yeah, I certainly still have time to be able to do that and be irresponsible one day. And that is the caveat right there. It is one day.
Yeah.
For me. One day, one memory, but if it becomes multiple days, within the same month.
I would say it becomes multiple days if you haven't taken a vacation. If like maybe let's just go on the tangent of like if money's tight and you're like we can do some adventuring out in the mountains or we can do some things, but we can't really afford to go on an actual vacation, then it's like I'm gonna make a vacation for my kid. Like it's not a vacation, but we're gonna make it a vacation.
Sure. I mean, at that point, I think you just gotta be, you gotta be honest with the school. But no, even when we
you could be honest with the school.
Actually, don't be honest with the school. So we took Franklin. We took Franklin out of school when we went to England for a vacation. So him, my mother, his mother. Sorry, him, his mother, his sister, grandma. We went to England for a week, and we told the school, "Hey, we're taking Franklin out of school," and they said, "Okay, that's fine, but this is a unexcused absence. So because you are effectively, actively allowing him to be truant, you have to come in, talk to a truancy officer, and explain to us why."
Oh,
why you took a vacation?
My gosh!
Yeah, and so
listen very carefully.
I'm a full-grown adult going into the principal's office with other parents, and we are like, not okay. The principal was like, "I have to do this. I'm so sorry. I have to do this. But why did you go to England?" And I'm like, "Because it's the only time that we could do a vacation. Thank you. Please don't do it again. Please do your best to arrange your vacations around our vacation days." And I said, "That's great, but it did not work for myself or his mother, and this was the only time." "Okay, but just next time, please don't do it." And in fact, it's okay if you do it once a year. Just don't do it again this year, is what she said. Like, if you do it again next year, we'll have to have this conversation, but you won't get in trouble. If you do it again this year, you will get in trouble. Like, not only with the school, with the law. That's what she said.
Interesting.
And then she went to the next parent. "What happened with you?" "We went to a funeral. So it's not really like I have another day of the week of the month to go do a funeral." Dude, I understand. No, I apologize. My condolences. Next time.
Yeah, don't do it again.
She said, "Next time, I'm not even going to finish that. My condolences." And the dad was about to, like, you saw, he was all closed. He's like, "Next time what? What? Next time what?" Okay. No, you're on the same page with me. Okay, we're cool. Like,
no, because I'd be like, "Hey, just FYI, this is an excused absence, and I will be taking a vacation, and it will be unexcused, and I don't care."
Yeah. So my little tidbit to parents out there, if you're gonna take an extended vacation with the kids, try to do it on the weekend so you have an extended weekend. Like Thursday, Friday, and then just call in sick. Because the third day is when the kid needs to actually have a doctor's note. But if they're sick for Thursday, Friday, it's not really a big deal. At least that's how it is in California. And if I'm instructing parents how to play hooky, and if there's any teachers or administrators that are listening, my name is Jorge Lopez, and I live in Utah and Provo.
There you go.
But we'll
Love
go
it.
with that. Are you in favor of making your own snowball, or are you okay with the snowball scooper, where it scoops the snowball like an ice cream scoop?
I've never used that. Is it useful? Does it work?
It's amazing. It's not.
It seems efficient.
It's super efficient. And you and I, like, growing up, the life lessons we've learned about packing snow correctly, right? We have that life lesson, and we can teach that to our kids, but then we turn around, and our kids are just ice cream scooping with the giant ice cream scoop snowballs, and they've got 20 done, and you're like, "I'm on my third." Like, okay. I want to teach you this really good life lesson, but now that I see that you have a tool, it's the same thing going from an abacus to a scientific calculator. I'm using the new tool. Sorry. So it sucks to suck for old memories, but new memories are coming up, and we're gonna destroy this other team with our snowball scoops.
Snowball fights are a lot more fun when you have 100 snowballs, not 10.
Yeah. Now, did you ever put rocks in the snowballs because you're an a-hole?
No! What's wrong with you?
Well, you see, there's this... Okay, well, let's not finish that story. Thank you so much for watching and or listening this episode of Still Recording. And if you're watching live, our recording times are all kind of screwed up because we had Memorial Day here yesterday in the United States. And I just want to say, for just a quick moment, to all those that are serving and to all those that have served, that have sacrificed in and off the battlefield, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for what you've done for this country, because we can have shows like this without any kind of fear of castigation, canceling, and repercussions. Again, if you're a teacher, I'm sorry that I was trying to explain. Okay, you get it. But nevertheless, we love doing the show. Quinnton, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Xbox at Firewall.
You guys can find me those places under Lazy Tech Tony. As I said earlier on the show, we do this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/LazyTechTony. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast places as well. Discord link in the description down below for discussions about each podcast episode and topics. We'll talk to you folks in the next one. Later.
Bye, guys.
Heart.